My brother mans, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Sean Tucker, how's it going?
Life is good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good, bro. Thank you. Thank you for taking the time to be here, man.
Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, of course. Man, we go way back.
15 years, right?
15 years. 15 years.
Time
and then
flies.
okay. So introduce yourself to the listeners that haven't met you before.
So my name is Sean Tucker. I am a DJ. I've been DJing for almost 16 years now. Actually, really grew up with him back in the day when we were throwing like house parties and like different stuff throughout college. I DJ in the nightlife scene here in Chicago, primarily in West Loop and River North. I also am a part owner of a company called Holly Bali. We specialize in South Asian weddings. We have about 150 underneath our belt and just continuously grinding. And slowly but surely also getting into the production life. So super excited to be here, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, the journey has been definitely a lot long. 15 years of doing this, when did you start? Like, can you still point back to when you first started?
Oh, yeah. So I would say I got my first set of turntables in 2009.
Okay.
This is when Serato was still new, but I was still using CDs.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like where I got the nuances of like learning what DJing is. Back in the day when like Flip Side at 5, right? At 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Rush hour traffic, B96, listening to him, and kind of just learning the craft, surely, but just little by little.
Absolutely.
Right? And then I think from there, when I went into college, got Serato, started doing a lot of like the college parties, the South Asian parties.
Right.
And then fast forward to, I would say 2017 is when I officially started in the nightlife scene.
Gotcha. Okay.
The first place I, played was like Tunnel, shout out to Lago.
Right.
And, the Music Trust gave me an opportunity to start playing at like Fremont and Roof on the Wit and just started building from there, man. So, this is, I would say, my 8th or 9th year in nightlife. And
wow. In
I
the circuit, like in the Chicago circuit of just like 21 and up clubs, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Essentially.
Yeah.
Because I know we were playing back at hookah lounges and just even, I remember because I started playing on like these like small, it was called CD Mix 2. Mm-hmm. And like there was really no jog wheels or anything.
Yeah.
You just put your CD in and then you would like have to like use this like dial to be able to play the music or get that. And then my first gig was Medusa's when I played, Medusa's in Elgin.
God.
Yeah.
I forgot about that place.
And then that was in high school, and then we met at Inferno, I believe.
Yep.
Which is in like Schaumburg, Illinois. And then from there, like we just been on rolls of like playing in like the city,
Blast from the past.
I know. And to think like, even just about like music in like the DJing world, right? Like, how do you think? Because like this is a very like interesting thought. Like I can let you know how I think too about it. But like, how do you feel about how the DJ industry has changed from back then to like what it is now? Of course, we were burning CDs, and we would have like a whole case worth of CDs, not necessarily crates, of like vinyls, which was I'm sure like super heavy to carry, and then like take them to like each gig. But like we definitely had CDs that we had to burn, you know. But yeah, how would you say that like it changed throughout the years?
Equipment-wise, I think it allows us to be a little bit more creative, right? Because you are right. Like I remember we had stacks and stacks of CDs.
Yeah.
If you want to play like one specific song, eject the CD, put it away, grab the other one. It's kind of like even before us, like they had vinyl, right? Where you have to bring your different vinyls and play it.
Right.
What's nice now is that whether you're using Serato, whether you're using Rekordbox, to find music a lot quicker allows us to be in a position where we'll be able to be more creative, right? Like for me, I started using stems a lot more, right? And this is something that I've kind of learned from like people like Christian, DJ Metro, right? His style is, a cappella going into a track, then spinning in another a cappella, going into a track.
Yeah.
So it's like now even with like stems, I'm able to be more creative. So in that sense, I think the newer equipment and also how things are kind of changing, it allows us to play more music and be more creative in that sense, and also kind of bring more of that artistry out.
Yeah.
And really finding out who you are as an artist and who you are as a DJ in itself.
Absolutely.
But I think the only thing though is now with that, I feel like the foundation or the baseline of how to start DJing is a little bit different.
Sure.
Because when we first started off, like, you have to know how to beat match, and it's
Yeah.
like you're stuck with it, right? Like,
Right.
you only have a specific amount of time, because let's say if you only want to play a minute and a half of a song, you got to switch CDs, put a new CD in, find the track, get
Yeah.
it queued up,
Yeah.
and make sure it's set to go.
Yeah.
You know, it was like drilled in our head that, yo, like, you need to make sure you have the proper DJ etiquette for that.
Absolutely.
So even though it's still here, I feel like it's a little bit more different now.
Sure.
I feel like when we grew up, you
Yeah.
know, that kind of set the foundation of what the standard should be, transitioning from one song to another in a flawless manner. I think
Yeah.
those are the major differences.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I remember, like, even now, like, when I have to set up cues, like, I'm in Record Box, right? And you primarily use Serato, correct?
Correct, yeah.
So, like, I've used Serato before with stems. I think that's an awesome update that they did.
Yeah.
So you can obviously isolate the vocals or just the drums if you'd like, you know, which is great. But before, it was like, well, I couldn't set a cue. I'd have to like fast forward and spin the jog wheel
Yeah.
platter, and then set a cue, and then being able to, or I would have to then figure out, all right, this is where I'm gonna jump or come into the record. Whereas like now, I like with the CDJ 3000s, I'm able to set up the cues in Record Box, and then being able, like, obviously we have the cue buttons there, so I can jump to, like, let's just say I only want just the second drop, so I'll like skip to. Let's just say the number C or the letter C, right? And then it's just like, boom, I'm at C now. That's the
Yeah.
drop. That's what I set as in Record Box. And now I already have the next song queued up. Whereas, like you said, back in the day, I would have to like look for the next song, or like I gotta remember. You know, I used to like, I remember like I would have sections. You know, like I would have like, all right,
Yeah.
this is house, this is electro house,
Like, you
and
need
then
to be
this.
super organized.
Yeah, like super organized, and then I would have to like, you know, be able to jump like that. Like
Yeah.
now, setting up crates within Record Box
Yeah.
or with crates within Serato, it's like you could type in you could type in what you want. It's like, all right, cool, I can go into hip hop now if
Yeah.
I need to, you know. And I think organization is like the biggest thing with music. Anything creative, I feel like if the better organized you are, especially if you're performing, it's like
1000%.
you're able to execute a lot quicker.
100%.
You know, I've been in places where like people come and talk to me while I'm DJing, and then like I have to loop a song, and I'm just like, damn it, like, okay, hold on, give me a second, you know what I mean? Because people are like trying to hand you a shot,
Yeah.
or like try to get to like, it's like they want to be with you too,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
Which I love that, and I love when people come out and support.
Yeah.
But it's like when I'm performing, let me just do my thing, and then we'll hang out before or after. You
100%.
know? Yeah.
I think you are right, though. Like, the organization is definitely one of the biggest pieces now, right?
Yeah.
I switched over to a new laptop, I would say about like 8 months ago. And I actually spent almost like 35 hours, I counted,
Wow.
because I literally brought my entire library and I literally started from scratch. Because that old laptop had almost like, I used it for almost 8 years.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But like, there were so many crates and everything. I was like, you know what? Like, there has to be a more efficient way to do this, right? Because you are right. There's going to be audibles where like people are going to come up.
Yeah.
If, let's say, either promoters like, yo, I need you to switch to this track, or hey, if someone comes up and says hi, they want to support, they want to take a shot with you. So I was like, you know what? Like, being more organized definitely helps. So I
Yeah.
think in that sense, like, when you kind of curate the night, even if your organization with your music is kind of set.
Yeah.
And again, this is kind of where we learned, like, back in the day when we
Yeah.
had CDs.
Yeah.
You need to be very precise on what you're putting.
Sure.
So that also, I feel like, has definitely helped me as a DJ, especially being open format and quick mixing.
Yeah.
I need to.
Absolutely,
Because,
yeah.
like, the one thing that I love is that, you know, I'm able to kind of go in whatever direction I want based on what the crowd likes. So even in one night, if I'm able to play from hip hop to reggaeton to Bollywood,
Yeah.
to, you know, deep house, tech house, all the way to like Punjabi music, all the way to trap hip hop, you know, all the way to, you know, Afrobeat. I'm a piano. So like, in
Yeah.
that sense, like, that organization does help, especially when you're trying to read the crowd.
Absolutely. I mean, I can 100% agree, because I remember when I first started, I would have a set list of all the songs that I'm going to play, and it's going to be like, this is the first song, this is the second song, this is the third song. But like that, I think it's okay in the beginning stages where you're just like, you have a set play and this is what you're going to play.
Yeah.
And then obviously the songs back in the day used to be like 7 minutes long. If you're playing a progressive house song, it's like, it's a long mix, you know what I mean? Whereas like now it's like, you can, like we were talking about cue points and things of that nature. How were you always an open format DJ?
Yeah, I mean, so when I started, you know, hip hop was one of the biggest pieces, right?
Okay.
Like I remember B96 was like hits and hip hop, like that was like their main thing.
Yeah.
But then I think what was nice is like when we were growing up, you know, this is where kind of like house music and EDM started to come into play. This is where like Avicii, Levels, and all those tracks started to become more popular and popular. So with that, and also starting to go into the nightclubs,
Yeah.
you kind of see all these different types of songs. It was just mainly house music versus like hip hop.
Sure.
But now there's so many different variations. And for me, man, like music is a universal language.
Absolutely.
Right? Like
Yes.
the fact that I'm able to make different people, different ages, different cultures like move and groove. And it could be like 6 different genres as long as you execute it properly.
Right.
I think that's what I love, man. And that's why I've always been open format. Now, that's not a slight against anyone that is a specific genre, right?
Sure.
Like, for example, like if you go to Celeste, right, or if you go to Kashmir, you know what you're going to be getting.
Absolutely.
And I really respect that they have a specific like identity, right? Like Goodnight John Boy is a
Yeah.
prime example. You go there, you know you're going to play disco, right?
Exactly.
So like anytime, like I know I've seen you at Kashmir, you know, like Strategy and DJ Heavy, right? Playing over at Celeste, like you know what you're gonna get, and they're masters at it.
Yeah.
And I love that. The reason why I love open format is because for me it allows me to be a little bit more creative.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's my creative lens.
Right.
Everyone has their own creative lens, even if you are specific to one genre. Like,
Yeah.
so out of curiosity, like you specifically produce house music, correct?
Yeah, yep.
Is it a specific subsect of house or overall just house music?
I would say overall, like in the beginning, I was kind of like making all kinds of music.
Yeah.
You know, like I have records that are like hip hop, reggaeton. I have a
Yeah.
reggaeton record. But you know, I think for me, it just became more clear that I want to make more electronic music.
Amazing.
Whether it's like I do have a deep house record out there. It's called Good Time.
Yeah.
And like it's being like internationally played.
There
You
you
know,
go.
I got Loon as the vocalist, and she crushed it.
I love it.
Yeah, and like it just fit more with my style because, well, one, okay, my biggest thing is I don't like to take requests. Like it's like you can suggest like hey, play something more like upbeat, you know, more like characteristics.
Yeah.
Versus or genres, but like don't ask me to play a specific song or don't ask
No,
me to
fair.
like, because like to be honest, like when I'm in the creative world, it's like I am curating the night, like right, like I'm opening up for you. Let's just say so like they want house music, and then then we have Sean Tucker come in, and it's like all right. Now he can play a variation of things, and that's
Yeah.
how promoters and like nightlife like
Yeah.
managers that's what they're thinking about when they're booking, right? In the beginning, let's play some chill house music, maybe with some hip hop vocals on top. You know, get everybody
Yeah.
get some drinks in, get them a little like warmed up for the night.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna get into the crazy part of the night where you're gonna come and crush it. Like to me, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that's the thing, like everyone has a specific direction on their creativity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? So like your creative lane, that defines who you are. And
Yeah.
I absolutely love that. Right.
Yeah.
Even like with Disconnect, like Strategy and Heavy.
Right.
You know, their lane is amazing because they really showcase their creative lens with that specific lane. For me, growing up with a variety of different genres,
Yeah.
being South Asian, you know, so listening to classic Bollywood,
Right.
right? But also growing up to hip hop and also learning about the house scene as being in Chicago.
Yeah.
You know, my creative lens kind of comes with a variety of different genres, right?
Sure,
Because
absolutely.
even, for example, like you said, like let's say if you're opening up a club,
Yeah.
the proper way to open up a club can be done in various ways, right?
Sure.
You can go like the chill house vibes with the hip hop vocals and kind of bring it up in that lens, and I've done that.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I've also flipped the switch and do like throwback hip hop tracks. Like
Okay.
I'm talking like Nelly Grills
Yeah.
from like 2005,
Yeah.
right? Playing like Right There, playing Shake Your Tail Feather,
Right.
Tracks that like people are
Familiar
nostalgic
with.
about,
Yeah.
but you're not necessarily playing like the Just Wanna Rocks or the Fiends at that time to build it, right? And obviously every single venue is different in that lens, but I think for me, it's a challenge,
Right.
right? It's like, how can I
Go from
go from genre to genre, whether it's an opening, headline, or closing set,
Yeah.
you know, I like the challenge where I can make different people move. And I remember this specifically. This was at Liquor Box.
Okay.
Four Color Zach was playing.
Okay.
And OT Genesis was also in the booth.
Oh, snap.
Right?
Okay.
So you would expect it was going to be a lot of hip hop.
Right.
Right? And I still remember this because Four Color Zach played Taylor Gang by Wiz Khalifa.
Okay.
And then he looped the Taylor Gang,
Yeah.
and then put in a Taylor Swift song right after.
Oh shit. Okay.
No one expected it.
Yeah.
But it's Four Color Zach, so you expected it was gonna be something you're not gonna like familiarize with. You just register.
Yeah.
So when that came on, I think everyone in the club was like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
And then I'm like looking at this. I'm like, "This is awesome." But then what I caught was OT Genesis, who's just straight hip hop, right?
Right.
He's vibing to this,
Okay.
right? He's like, "Yo, what the fuck?"
Yeah.
So in that lens, man, like
Yeah.
I really like the open formats landscape because
Yeah.
those are the creative flows for me. Like that's my lane,
Right.
Right. And I really like it because that motivates me to play different rooms and kind of learn these different aspects of it. Right?
Okay. I want to stop you here because that's awesome that you said that motivates you to learn these rooms. Now, going back again to how you started, learning the rooms. How there's gonna be it's a two-part question, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna be what kind of things were you paying? Like if you're talking to your younger self right now, how did you? And you're a very successful DJ. How did you move in the mindset of thinking of learning the rooms and then deciding how you create your playlists based on the room? Like now, obviously you're seasoned, like so you know it's like, all right, I know this is gonna fit at this time.
Yeah.
Or if I'm in this situation, I know my go-to song right now in case of any emergency, you know. And you know, how did you learn, or what kind of thought processes were you having?
Yeah.
And then like, how did you create that kind of playlist eventually, and then now being really good at it?
Amazing question. So I would say it's a combination of three things, right?
Okay.
The first thing is actually physically going into the rooms itself,
Right.
When I first started, you know, obviously, you know, I went with like some of the opening sets,
Right.
So for example, I'll remember like if I did Fremont when they had their nightclub,
Right.
I would play from like 9 to 11 or 9 to 11:30.
Okay.
Once I'm done, chill for a little bit, but then
Yeah.
I'll go into the industry run route where I'll go to like 4 or 5 nightclubs, sometimes 2 or 3, depending on how long I want to stay.
Yeah.
But I just go in and listen.
Right.
Right. I want to hear what the DJ's playing.
Right.
I want to see what hits, what doesn't hit, how the crowd is reacting, and the type of crowd, right?
Right.
Are they wanting more hip hop? Are they wanting more Latin? Are they wanting more house? Right?
Right.
Is this changing based on the night, or is it very consistent? Right.
Right,
So
right.
going into the room and just listening and just seeing how the crowd reacts.
Okay.
That's the first thing. The second thing was understanding and making like a proper connection with management and people that work there.
I'm glad that you
right?
said that,
You know,
yes.
because like I remember when I started going to like Tunnel and listening, made sure I said hello to, you know, Lago, said hi to Promo 7,
Right.
Ollie, Riz,
Right.
you know, got them a shot, you know, and just communicate with them and, you know, even ask like questions like, hey, like how's
Yeah.
the vibe? Like, how are you feeling tonight? Like, and they'll tell me, right? Like,
Yeah.
because you want to kind of like break bread with them, right?
Absolutely.
And they see that you are, you know, interested in playing, you come out and support,
Yep.
you know, and obviously like they're seeing that you really want to, you know, really hit the night off, right properly.
Yeah.
And you're asking those questions. But at the same time, seeing how the bartenders and how security are also like vibing, right? If you
Absolutely.
see them vibing to the DJ, you know you're playing something right.
Right, absolutely.
Because like if you can tell, like, hey, like if the bartenders are not happy or they're not making money because people aren't drinking, like you could tell.
Yeah.
But the fact that if people are spending money because of the music, and they're also vibing, and you can tell like they're moving and grooving, like
Yeah.
that's a big thing. So that's the second piece that I've learned. And then the third
Awesome.
thing is just learning to fit the room properly, whether it's an opening slot, headline, or closing slot, right?
And know how to do it.
Exactly. And this is kind of like what I learned from, my business partner and best friend, Saj, DJ Mr. Shaw.
Yeah.
That I've learned from Gordo,
Right.
DJ Metro.
Right.
Like, these were the guys that kind of set the standard of, like, what the format is for each room.
Right.
So to kind of also learn that, hey, like, going to the physical room itself and
Right.
listening and seeing what's consistent, what's non-consistent, what
Right.
changes, what doesn't change, what works, what doesn't work,
Right.
based on the crowd, understanding management and bartenders and the team there and kind of getting their insight, and then also understanding what role you're doing as an opener, headliner, and closer. From there, that allows me to kind of navigate what the room is going to be like and prep my sets initially
Absolutely.
when I started.
Right.
Right. And then from there, when I remember I had my first opportunity to play at Tunnel, I remember Lago asked me to get on. I was the middle set.
Yeah.
He asked me to get on because the first DJ was like, this is like in 2017 when like Sicko Mode, he's like, the opener's playing this at like 10:15. So he asked me like, hey, can you hop on like
10:15 Sicko Mode?
Sicko Mode?
Oh, Drake
So-
and Travis? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's like, hey man, do you mind like hopping on like 10 minutes early? I don't want him to play till 11. Can you hop on at 10:50?
Yeah.
Sure, not a problem. This is my
Yeah.
first time, and because I know I'm an opener,
Right.
because I've been into the room and I understand what works, what doesn't work,
Right.
and also talking to management and seeing what the people who work there like,
Yeah.
I was able to do a proper like mid set to kind of keep it up for the headliner.
Absolutely.
Right? And I remember when Lago came up and he like dapped me up, he bought me a shot. He's like, yo, that's great. This is exactly what we need.
Yeah.
I think those are the pieces that really elevated me to really, one, set myself as a DJ, understanding trust, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But then as that trust builds, it allows me to also continue to start being more creative with my blends.
Absolutely.
Right? I think that's kind of the thing for me. So I think those are the proper etiquettes that allowed me, especially being open format, to kind of navigate these rooms.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. I mean, you stated a lot. Honestly, you nailed it because like support is a huge thing.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that like are saying, like I want to give. I mean, obviously we have since COVID, there's a huge influx of DJs, right? And producers, because a lot of people had time to just sit and make music. I mean, we couldn't go anywhere, right?
Yeah.
And like people got famous off of like or known to be influencers because there wasn't like much to do. There was what am I gonna do? I'm at home. I'm stuck. But then how do you stick out once COVID was over? It was like the support, talking to people, not always necessarily coming in like, hey, I want to get a gig here. How do I do it? It's like, well, the way to do it is by supporting their night. Like be the person that is actually enjoying the environment, coming as a listener, coming as a supporter, rather than coming into wanting something. Because it's like, okay, well, like everybody wants something. It's very selfish, to really think that way, And like, I feel like growing up, like I always knew that, like, because in the beginning, it's like you have that itch, like you just want to get out there, like you're eager, you're like, man, like I got the grind, I want to do it, I'm motivated, I will, bring people out, like they're gonna come and support your night, but only if you book me. Okay, well, like that's not necessarily fair, it's like just only if, like, I get it, like massive artists, like if you had to bring, like I know like DJ Chucky was huge back in the day, like obviously growing up David Guetta, like all these artists, I mean David Guetta started off as a bartender, and they just didn't have a DJ, so he ended up getting in there, right? But it's like finding like your way, but also being, so obviously David Guetta DJ'd the place that he was already working at, and there wasn't many DJs, were there specific, like going now that I'm thinking about, like, because I grew up like learning how to DJ by like, dude, it was crazy. Like I know Record Box, like back in the day, they would have like these like podcasts on their website, on their YouTube, and it was just like watching other DJs DJ, and like that's when I first started off. I would watch like all the live Ultra sets, just to like, and that's like when Hardwell was really big, Afrojack, that like high pitched sound like that they had. It was called like Dutch House, essentially, back in the day. You remember that? But it's like I was watching all these like sets. Like, who were you watching during those times? Because I know I'm diving deep in more so how you became who you are today.
Yeah, no. Flip Side of Five.
Always.
Flip Side of Five. I remember that, man. Vince is such a great DJ.
Yeah.
And like we really listened to him consistently, right? So like I remember like even if like we're playing basketball outside, like me and Sahaj, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, 5 o'clock. Like, we'll just turn on one of our cars and just pump up like the volume, just listen to him, right?
Sure, yeah.
He'll post his videos then on YouTube. That was the best part.
Yeah.
Because then we get to see like how he's doing it and all that. So
It's
like
all live too. I think he had it live sometimes.
live.
Yeah.
No, Flipside at 5 was live.
Yeah.
From 5 o'clock to whenever he finished.
Yeah.
It was always live.
Yep.
It was never pre-recorded. So in those lens, like, I think for me, I really looked more into those open format DJs.
Right.
And it's not to say that I didn't enjoy watching like
Right.
the main artists that are at like Ultra or EDC
Yeah.
or have like those major residencies in like Las Vegas.
Okay.
I loved it. But I think because from my creative lens,
Right. Right.
I really wanted to look at those DJs that, I want to see as, peers one day.
Absolutely.
Right? Or be in a position where I'm also playing the same rooms as them.
Yeah.
Right. So with that being said, Flipside was one of the big people. Once I was in college, like I know like DJ Metro,
Right.
he got onto B96 and then watching him play live at some of these nightclubs.
Right.
DJ Vice. I
Yeah.
remember he had like a guest spot once on B96, and then I got to understand who he was and then following his journey.
Yeah.
And then, even I remember Bad Boy Bill came on once.
Yeah, Bad Boy Bill. He had. Yeah,
He's a
it's still I
Chica-
think live on B96 where he was going.
Chicago
he's
legend.
Legend. I was about to say.
So
yeah.
I think for me, like those were the types of people that I really looked up to, right? And then when I started going out to the nightclubs in Chicago, it's
Yeah.
like those people like Uzi, who was like, Social 25 resident for a long time, DJ
Yeah.
Gordo. It's like these are the guys I look up to because, they're the ones who set the precedent of like the open format DJing landscape that I really wanted to be a part of.
Absolutely.
So it's like some of these like hometown heroes, I would say,
Yeah.
right, are the ones that I really looked into. And then outside of that, like people that I found like, people part of like Scam Artists and like some of these other artist management agencies,
Right.
Shaw's part of like My Favorite DJ agency,
Right.
like DJ Conflict, amazing DJ,
Right.
My friend Carla, DJ CLA in Vegas, like some of these open format rock stars, like those are the people that I looked up to.
Absolutely. Yeah, no, that's amazing. I mean, growing up, yes, I was like, obviously there was like the massive like artists like Eric Murillo. I've opened up for him at V Live back in the day. But really boiling it down, how I started too was just like Bad Boy Bill, Mix and Mark,
Mix and
Bam
Mark,
Bam,
Mark Staff, yes.
And it was that Flipside. Obviously, I was listening to Flipside too. Let's see. I mean, then it ended up being like in a position where like I had to like Nathan Scott, like he's a friend of mine.
Yeah.
He books me at Celeste from time to time, and like I didn't know him back in the day, but I used to DJ at Energy back in like I don't even know, man. I think I was in high school during that
I'm
time.
loving these throwback names.
Yeah, I
man.
know.
Oh my
yeah,
God.
I know. We haven't heard of these
My
names in a minute.
God.
But yeah, like Nathan Scott was the headliner.
Yeah.
I didn't really talk to him. He was just on the same bill as me, and I was there. And I still have a flyer of. I gotta send this to him. But it was like I have a flyer with all of our faces because back in the day we would pass out flyers. It wasn't digital.
Yeah, man.
I
like
remember
those.
We had to pass out these
I
flyers.
remember this back in the college days, man.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, like, it must have been a great feeling to like be in the same room and playing with like these people that you looked up to, right?
That's
Like,
what I'm saying.
It's funny, like when you mentioned Nathan Scott, like last week actually, for Holly Bali, one of our DJs, DJ Ujwal,
Yeah, yes.
amazing producer, right?
Great producer. Yep.
But he also wanted to kind of get into the nightclub landscape.
Absolutely,
So
yeah.
last week was his first time playing a tunnel from a nightclub perspective.
Yeah, I saw.
Had an opening set and did a fantastic job, and he was opening up for Nathan Scott.
That's crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
So
it's
in those
big-
senses, man, like, to play for those people that you really looked up to, like, that means a lot, right? So for me to be able to play with Gordo, to be able to play with Metro, to be able to play with Shaw,
Right.
like, these are the things that make me happy. Like, okay, like, I've looked up to you guys have given me that guidance, and
Right.
I don't want to let you guys down, and I'm going to continue giving it my all. Right?
Absolutely.
That makes a very big difference.
It's super motivating. Like it feels like, because I feel like as an artist, we feel like, and we touched on this before. I feel like we don't appreciate how far we've come.
Yeah.
It's just we're always on the go. It's like, all right, well, especially like because we have social media and like we see how others are doing, and then it's just like, am I doing enough? Am I like, it's always like a competition. I feel like, where like, yeah, growing up, it was like, I was like, all right, well, I got to be better than this person, or like, what are they doing where they're getting that, and what am I not doing where I'm not getting recognition, you know? And eventually you go through these ups and downs of like, you're happy, you're not happy, you know? And it's just like, I feel like being like honing in and just like, you know, talking to yourself or talking to someone, like we're talking about all these throwbacks, but it's like, bro, like how 15 years later we're still doing this, you know, since we met. And like all these accomplishments, you have to think about what you've done. Like, and like even like we'll look back at this video and we'll be like, remember when we did that? You know, like I mean, I know we're gonna air this, like we're gonna have another round of this, and I want to, you know. But it's like we'll look back at this and you'll be like, man, during that time, I remember, you know. And obviously we're at the new Holly Bali, like, you know, office, you know, and we'll touch on Holly Bali. But it's like these motivations are crucial, you know, just like. Or looking back and looking at these milestones that you've completed, you know. So like, yeah, I definitely want to think about like, and I want to inspire others to reflect on the stuff that 100%. They've done. You know, what are some milestones that like, other than the fact that like the things that we've talked about on how far you've got here, what are some milestones that you want to accomplish? You know, I know you got Holly Bali. We could talk about that. You know, we could talk about how Holly Bali even started. You know, with your best friend. Yeah,
no, 100%, man. So I guess, you know, milestone wise, I think there's 3 pieces.
Okay.
I think for Chicago, you know, I'm playing the rooms that I want to play, right?
Right.
And this year I really wanted to focus on starting to get into 3 more venues or 4 more venues that I wanted to, right? Bodega. Okay. I got into, I was able to. I saw
that. It was a couple weeks ago, wasn't it?
It was a couple weeks ago. And I love that room because it's a smaller room. It kind of feels like house party vibes mixed with like boiler room style.
Yeah.
Just with the low light and kind of the DJ booth in the center like that.
Couches and everything too. It's like, it's intimate.
It's a fun room.
Yeah.
It's a fun room. Joy District, you know, another like high level nightclub I slowly started getting into. I was able to, you know, have the ability to perform there. You know, Edwin and Shinar gave me an opportunity to play.
Yeah.
So I just played there yesterday. I headlined a few weeks ago. So I think
wasn't Troy Boy there yesterday?
He was there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Shout out to him. Shout out to Pradeep. You know, he was there. He's his artist manager, so I got a chance to see him.
Pradeep from like Pradeep
like
DJ PM?
Yeah.
Really? Wow, I haven't seen him since like I'm talking like when we first met.
Yeah.
He's Troy Boy's manager?
Yeah.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, it was great to see him, right?
Yeah.
So it's like I'm really happy that I'm able to kind of play these rooms.
Yeah.
I think to answer like the first milestone that I want to hit is hitting these remainder clubs that I want, right?
Right.
One of them is Goodnight John Boy.
Right.
Shaw and I are actually an investor in the John Boy brand.
Right.
But for me, I don't want to just play because I'm an investor. I want to play as an artist who really understands that room.
Absolutely.
Right? Being someone who didn't grow up on disco,
right?
I want to make sure that I really solidify before, you know, providing that sample and to showcase that, hey, I would like to bring value as a DJ to this roster of DJs that play in this room.
Right.
Right. So for me, I want to build that and make sure that once I'm there, you know, I hit it out of the park. The last thing I want to do is go into a room and do a very bad job.
Right.
Where 1, I don't provide value. 2, I make them lose money. And 3, I'm not booked there again.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the last piece would be talent. Right. I know that's definitely a bigger climb.
Right.
But for me, the DJs that I look up to, right?
Right.
Shaw, Metro, Nick Rockwell plays there.
Right.
You have people like E-Rock, Jersey that come in and play. You know, these DJs that are also open format, but really at the highest caliber level.
Right.
Right. So eventually, I want to get to a point where if I'm given an opportunity, whether it's to open or whatever, get there and provide that value for them. Right? So that's milestone 1.
Right.
Milestone 2 is more consistency with posting, because as you mentioned with social media, you know, being a business owner, doing 45 weddings a year, doing nightlife, there's so many things.
It's a lot.
So for me, I want to make more time to be more consistent with my posts.
I mean, sidestep real quick. I mean, I know you were doing like the mashup Wednesdays, right?
Yep.
Which is very successful. You got a shout out from someone huge, artist, DJin, right?
Yes.
Punjabi artist, right? I mean, bro, that's amazing. You know, that's like right before I think he was he's on a tour.
He
I
just
think.
had his Chicago tour.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was just in Chicago on Sunday actually.
Right. Yeah.
So-
So that and like to get a massive shout out, he's one of the first people I believe that has performed at Coachella in Indian, South Indian, or in
South Asian, yeah.
South Asian. Yes. He's not South Indian. That's for sure. Yeah. He's Punjabi, so that's north. That's right above Gujarat. Right. See, I'm not bad with geography. All right. I'm not bad. But like, yes, I mean, first person to like bring Punjabi music, like to performing artists to Coachella is a huge thing, you know?
I think of him as kind of like how Bad Bunny is right now for Latin music on a global scale.
Sure.
That's kind of how I look at DJin.
Right.
In a sense where he's bringing South Asian music, specifically Punjabi music,
Right.
at a global stage.
Absolutely.
Right. And I love
Yeah.
that. So yeah, and you know, for me, like I want to get back into the consistency of posting those mashups, right?
Right.
And I think that kind of goes to the third milestone where I want to get into production. I really want to mix a blend of South Asian samples
Yeah.
with a hip hop essence into it,
Absolutely.
right? What I've noticed, man, is that not many people really utilize those two genres together,
They don't.
right? I only know one producer that does it consistently, and that's Timbaland.
Yeah.
There's
Okay,
literally like an interview with him, like in the studio. He's like, I love Bollywood.
Right.
He's like, I love and he has so many of his samples, like Indian flute, Hummer limo.
Yeah.
Like all of his tracks, they have a South Asian influence. to it, right?
Absolutely.
And a lot of people right now, like Indo Warehouse, they do their thing, right?
Yes.
You know,
The
there's
Bandra with like
Yep,
within
exactly,
they have a show
right?
during
Like,
the DJ set.
Exactly, right? Like so a fluctuation of like Desi house music,
Yeah.
Afro house with Desi influence into it.
Yeah.
Right. But there's never a scene where I feel like I can do a track like, you know, throwback track like Sharara. I love the background. Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, that's
and then
all, man.
seeing if there's a way that we can flip it into like a hip hop beat, right?
Right.
You know, I actually work with Agent Forte, Brandon.
Okay. Yeah. Brandon. Yep.
Amazing producer.
Yeah.
Right. So I
His
remember
edits are awesome too.
Edits
Yep.
are fire.
Yeah.
You know, me and him, like we ended up like I told him about this vision, and like when I wanted to start to learn,
Yeah.
he kind of gave me some insight, and we actually like did an edit together
Mm-hmm.
of a Bollywood sample, and then we ended up putting the acapella of Plain Jane on
Okay.
top of it.
Sick.
You've the Bollywood song Guzarish
Okay.
with like Amir Khan.
Okay.
We flipped it.
Nice.
And it became like a trap, like something you would hear like Pop Smoke on, but we sampled it, and then we utilized that with the Plain Jane acapella, and it sounded great. So I think that's the third piece is, I think now from a creative lens, man,
Yeah.
I really want to start going in that realm.
Okay.
Because one, I grew up to hip hop and I grew up to Bollywood.
Same.
So for me, that's the creative lane that I would want to go into, right?
Yeah.
As a DJ, I can be open format because that's my creative lens in that front. But as a producer,
Yeah.
for someone to even maybe write lyrics, you know, I think maybe that's the drive and the vision and lane I want to potentially go into, right?
love
And
that.
I think that's kind of like that final milestone for me, at least for the personal Sean Tucker artistry brand.
Right.
Holly Bali, your second question,
Yeah.
that milestone is, you know, to continue growing, right?
Yeah.
I'm really happy.
There's
that,
no
like,
ceiling on
There's
that
no
one.
ceiling,
Yeah.
right? And I think the best part about that, man, is that like in the last 6 years, this is year 6,
Right.
every year
Right.
we've been getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. I see it.
We've two Desi kids, not knowing anything about business,
Right.
starting something like this, like that really makes me smile, right?
Yeah.
I'm happy to say
Inspiration for
we've
us,
never
you know?
been in debt. We've never got a single dollar from anyone else. It was just me and Shaw,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Like I remember like when we first started, we used like my QSC K12s from 2009.
Oh shit. Damn.
Like the first ones that came out.
You're right.
And Shaw's K181 subs
Mm-hmm.
from 2015.
Wow.
Year one, that's when we started.
Right.
Right? So we built it, and then we got our first set of uplights. Then we
Right.
bought, shout out to like Goshal, Shadi Entertainment. We bought it from him. You know, got our first facade. Then we got like, I forgot the name. What's the Guitar Center speaker brand?
What's it called?
Behringer. So no, not Behringer. Harbinger.
Yeah.
I remember we got those.
They're
They were
Harbingers.
Like, yeah, Harbingers. Yeah, they were like $300, like 2,000 watt speakers.
Harbinger. Now I used to work at Guitar Center.
I was like, I think you should know this. Yeah,
I know. It's been a while.
But yeah, man, like, you know, I remember we started, and then as we built the money, then we got like RCF speakers. We got proper lighting, and you know, this office, like, it really makes me happy because the end of 2021 in November, when we finished our last event of the year, our first year, we were just in a 5x5 storage space. That's all the equipment we had. Everything was just stacked. Right. Then we got our first office in 2022. Right. You know, in 2023, we officially got a warehouse. 2024, we got our first official truck. End of 2025, we got this space, our new office. You know,
it's beautiful.
So, you know, so it's like, it's just the amount that we are growing day by day, year by year. Like, that really puts a smile on my face. And not just that, but also how much growth each of our DJs, MCs, musicians have pretty much over the last like 5 years, how much they've grown. Just with their confidence, their skill, and just like what they execute. Like, it really makes me happy, man.
Man, I'm glad. Like, and I've known you for like since you guys were doing like when you guys first started Holly Bali. I remember, you know, it was just like, all right, we're just getting like these. We're just starting off with the basic setup, you know. But to get to where you are now, you know, with all the equipment that you guys have and all the different venues that you guys have been to, alongside all the events that you guys have already done. So you're like globally, just kind of, you've been to Bulgaria, you've been, you know, potentially you said Guatemala. You might be going to, right? So I'm really, that's honestly, that's an inspiration in and of itself. You know what I mean?
Thank you, man.
It's great to see that. Now, before I ask my last question, where can everyone find you?
Yeah, great question, man. So I'm on Instagram, DJ Sean Tucker, DJ SEAN TUCKER. You can also find me with that same tag on SoundCloud. I have posted a 60-minute open format mix called Scene Headline Hours. And I'm going to continuously start posting more mixes on there this year. At the same time, if you are looking from a South Asian lens, Holly Bali Unlimited is our IG handle if you're looking for anything from a South Asian private event perspective. And then if you want to see our pieces from the Bollywood nights in the nightclub settings, Must Be Nice is also our company name, MASTBENICE. So you'll be able to see that. But that's where you can follow me.
Absolutely. There you have it, folks. All right. So now leading into the last question, right?
Sure.
How do you want to impact the world with music and entertainment?
Yeah. I would say it's a two-part question, or a two-part answer.
Okay.
The first part is kind of similar to what I'm doing right now, right? Music is a universal language, and even if I'm wherever I'm playing, it could be at Tunnel, it could be at Bodega, it could be at any of the future spots that I want to play or envision myself playing in.
Right.
You know, if I can make just one person who had a shitty day like smile, like I want to continue having that as one of the biggest drivers for me.
Absolutely.
It's not just that I love what I do, it's also I can really change someone's perspective, right? We don't know what people are going through. They could have the shittiest week, the shittiest day, you know, whether it's work, family, health, you don't know. One of the biggest compliments I've received outside of like from management or the people I look up to in this industry is those patrons that come to a club or to listen and they tell me, hey, for that hour, I forgot about all my troubles.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
So I think that is something I want to continuously give to the world because music can be healing. Even if it's just temporary, I want to give that feeling of just letting go of the troubles and just enjoying yourself.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely, yes.
I think the other piece is as I am learning to be more of an artist, whether it's writing lyrics, production, anything along the lines of that, I really want to showcase a combination of hip-hop and a South Asian influence, right? I think that identity, even though I am open format in the DJ scape, I think from an artist or producer perspective, I want to be a little bit more in that lane. And I think I want to do that, one, because I grew up with both, but two, I really want to have people realize that it's not just doctors, engineers, it's not just owning 7-Elevens and stuff. And to those who are in those fields, I love it. But more so, I want to make sure that I really want to put something out there for South Asians to be very proud of, right? You know, Diljits, right? The Mankinds, you know, those other individuals like Anik Khan, all those other pieces and artists, right? I think that's kind of where I want to be now, where it's like I want to give that to the world, right? To showcase that, hey, I'm more than just, you know, a DJ. I'm more than just this random Indian
stereotype,
kid,
like,
right?
you know.
I want to be the position where I can make my people proud. I can also make the little kid in me growing up and listening to, you know, Bollywood, listening to hip hop, make my inner self proud, because I think that's where I really want to strive to, you know, give to the world who I am.
Absolutely.
And give to the world a shoe showcase of I'm not just some random Indian kid, and the culture that I grew up to has so much value that I want to share it with the world.
Absolutely. I love that so much. And, you know, one of my co-producers that I work with off label, he's told me something that, like, we have this opportunity to inspire young South Asian individuals because, like, you know, we have that stereotype that we're like, well, and our parents mean well, you know, it's like, you know, find something secure, but us trying to, doing something different, you know, like trying to, we're kind of in like this field where it's like, we're kind of going against the grain, you know, like being an artist, it was kind of like a little bit of a joke. It's a hobby. So like not a joke, but it was more so of a hobby. Like you should not do that, right? Like it's not a real thing where you can make money off of and have a living. I feel like based off of what you said, just made me think about what my co-producer off label said, is that like, dude, we have this great opportunity to inspire young artists to be like, there is another way where you can do what you love and still be able to make a living out of it, you know? So, man, it was great having you on the show.
Thank you
so much.
Me.
Yeah, dude, like I can't believe it, man. It's been this long, but man, to many more, man. And congratulations on all your success. You know?
Thank you, man. You as well, man.
Absolutely. We'll talk soon, brother.
Yes, sir.
All right, later.